Welcome to Unbiased Rugby. So I'm going to go through the Australian side and obviously a bit of a prediction between the Springboks and the Wallabies. I think it's going to be a really, really interesting test playing there in the Highveld in Johannesburg. But yeah, let me go through the Australian side first, and then we can take it from there. So 1, we've got James Slipper. 2, Folau Fuenga. 3, Sekope Kepu. 4, Isaac Rodda. 5, Rory Arnold. 6, Lukan Salakia-Loto. 7, Michael Hooper. 8, Izian Nazarani. 9, Nick White. 10, Bernard Foley. 11, Reece Hodge. 12, Simon Karevi. 13, Tavita Kurandrani. 14, Dane Haylett-Petty. And 15, Tom Banks. Looking at this side, there's only one debutant starting, and that's Nazarani. There's a hell of a lot of experience in the forwards, especially in that front row. Folau Fuenga is probably one of his first, not his first game, but he's obviously only got 7 caps. So he's going to be surrounded by some really experienced props. I've really liked the way that Rory Arnold has played this year. The one thing that I can say, I watch a lot of Premiership, and if you've watched Skelton play up north, the guy's absolutely phenomenal. I think he's a real strong ball carrier, and I think he would have been a better lock for the Wallabies, but they've got that 60 cap rule that you have to have played 60 caps before you can play overseas. 8, that's a different 8, Nasarani. 8's, somebody's got to start sometime, but that could be a bit of a weak spot that we could maybe go after. Bernard Foley. Bernard Foley is just one of those players for me. He's either hit or miss. He's very, very similar to Yankees in that respect. He either has an exceptionally good game and he kicks really well and everything seems to happen, and then sometimes he misses 4 kicks in a row, and it becomes painful to watch. Simon Karevi, I think he was probably one of the players this year in Super Rugby. Guy's incredible. I think he was the only Australian player that, from the Australian conference, that I had in my team of the season. But I think where the big thing comes in for the Wallabies is their bench. Yes, they've got one person start, a debutant, but they have got heaps of experience on the bench. So 16, we've got Jordan Ulysses. 17, Harry Johnson Holmes. 18, Tanila Tupou. 19, Rob Simmons. 20, Jack Dempsey. 21, Will Guinea. 22, Matt Tuamua. 23, Kirtley Beale. So yeah, that looks like some serious. There's Will Guinea's at 101 test. So it looks like, looking at how the Wallabies want to play, especially at the Highveld, they want to bring in their strong legs at about 50, 60 minutes and really be able to keep the same kind of intensity, especially in that back row, because they've got some seriously really good back row players there coming onto the bench. Kirtley Beale's a real game player, a game changer. Will Guinea's also a game changer. So yeah, I think it's a really good squad. I think it's a fairly settled squad. The only one that I would say, the only area that would be a bit of a concern is the 8. But yeah, I think they can stand up to the Springboks this weekend. I think the Springboks are in for a real slugfest. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go do a quick prediction between the two sides, and I've got a quick graphic on that. So let me just go through there. So if you look here, this is just caps. It's nothing fancy. Front row is pretty much the same, 170 to 200. Tight 5, the Springboks are 283 to 236. You got to remember with the Springboks, 180 caps is just 2 players. So yeah, it's quite high. The back row also for the Springboks 111 to 102. So, but also in the back row for the Wallabies, obviously you've got Captain Hooper, who's got a hell of a lot of caps. So yeah, the forwards for the Springboks, a few more caps than the Wallabies. In the backs, this is where it becomes like seriously interesting. So the back 3 for the Springboks have only got 15 caps. So I think there's a real weakness there in the Springboks. Whereas 66 for the Wallabies, which is also, I think, is also fairly low, but not as low as that back 3 for the Springboks. Overall, the backs for the Wallabies 239 to 94 caps. So looking at this, there's going to be for the Wallabies, they're going to try, obviously, start playing expansive, get those tight forwards, those forwards running around as much as they can, try to tire them out. But yeah, overall, 488 to 577, that's not a big difference. 32 average for the Springboks, 38 for the Wallabies. But there's where the big thing is the bench. 128 for the Springboks and 342 for the Wallabies. So yeah, I just quickly go look at the Springbok squad again. So looking at that, I'd say the big matchup, Bernard Foley and Elton Yankees, I think that's going to be a real interesting thing. I think Andre Esthuizen can stand up to Karevi. It's be the tight five that's really good. I've liked Trevor Nyankani. Once again, I'm going to say it. You guys have to look out for Lisa Gaboko. I think he's going to be he's absolutely one of my favourite players. And then looking at what they're going to bring up on the bench, that 20, 21 and 22, Marcel Coetzee, Kobus Reinach and Frans Steyn, I think are exceptional players. And Frans Steyn, we haven't seen him for a long time because he's been playing in France for a while. But you can see here, here's a team that we don't have to rely, we don't have any rules. We can choose players from all over the world. And it's sad to say, but it looks like the Wallabies are going to have to do that eventually. We just don't have the money to keep the players. And they could select such a great side if they started selecting more players from overseas. But yeah, I'm expecting a really, really close battle. I've put the Springboks to win by 5 at the half-felt, but I think it's going to be seriously tight until the 60th minute, and then something's going to happen. But yeah, as a box supporter, I put the Springboks to win by 5. But yeah, anything can happen on the week. The Wallabies could stand up and really, I think, I've been reading a lot of news and everywhere, and a lot of people have written off the Wallabies, and I wouldn't write off the Wallabies. They can always bring a good side, and they really would be desperate for a win. And I think Czech has been in the ear staying that the Springboks have brought in a second-rate squad, and they're not showing us any respect. If I was Czech, that's exactly what I'd be doing. But listen, guys, what do you think of the matchup? Do you think it's going to be close? Do you think it's going to be a blowout? Do you think the Wallabies are going to smash the Springboks? Or do you think the Springboks are going to smash the Wallabies? But yeah, guys, I'm really looking forward. 5 o'clock on Saturday, I'm going to be there watching it. Have my Springbok jersey on and my flag ready, and I'm going to get to watch it. But listen, guys, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful week. Chat soon. Cheers.